Welcome to the deep dive. So we've got the sources here on the most expensive real estate zip codes in the U.S. for 2024. Our goal today is really to look past just the massive price tags and try to figure out, what's actually being sold here. What defines this sort of apex market?
Right. And to do that properly, we really need to anchor ourselves in the main metric, the definitive one.
Yeah.
Median sale price. Not listing price, but what things actually sold for. That's the real value.
Okay, got it. Median sale price. And based on that, Atherton, California, 94027 is still number one.
Still number one. That's 8 years running now, the median sale price there. $7,900,000.
$7.9 million. Just wow.
Yeah.
Saying the number out loud kind of grounds you in what we're talking about here. The sources did mention, though, a slight correction, like 5% down.
Yeah, small dip, about 5%, which might suggest things are stabilizing a bit after some crazy years, but I mean, it's still dramatically ahead of everywhere else.
Okay. There was a big mover, right? Somewhere with a huge jump.
Absolutely. The real dynamic shift was out in the Hamptons, Watermill, New York. That's ZIP 1976. It saw this really remarkable 31% price increase year over year.
31% in 1 year.
Yep. Pushed its median sale price up to $5,885,000. That's a new record for Watermill. It tells you the demand for that kind of ultra-premium coastal property isn't cooling off at all. If anything, it's heating up in some spots.
Okay, so let's get into why. What makes these places, Atherton, Watermill, also Sagaponack, Fisher Island, Montecito, what makes them such magnets? We sort of distilled it down to maybe 3 core demands: engineered privacy, proximity to power, and a kind of curated lifestyle. Does that sound right?
That covers it pretty well, yeah. And that first one, engineered privacy, it's fascinating how it works differently in different places. Take Atherton again. The privacy there is basically baked into the town's rules.
How so? Like zoning?
Exactly. It's tied directly to this incredibly strict residential-only zoning they enforce. There are virtually no stores, no offices, nothing commercial apart from schools, and maybe a private club.
So no reason for anyone who doesn't live there to drive through.
Pretty much. It minimizes traffic, minimizes outsiders. Privacy becomes this almost weaponized commodity. It's manufactured through policy.
Okay, manufactured privacy through zoning. Then you contrast that with somewhere like Fisher Island, Florida, ZIP 33109. That uses geography, right?
Totally different mechanism, same result. Fisher Island, which, by the way, has the highest average income, something like $2.2 million per resident.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's an island. And the key thing is you can only get there by a private ferry that runs 24/7 or, your own yacht or helicopter. Complete physical isolation.
That isolation must feed into that third point, too, the curated lifestyle.
It absolutely does. Fisher Island isn't just private. It's almost like a self-contained world. It has its own school, its own bank, a grocery store, everything. You're paying an enormous premium for total control over your surroundings. Every service, every neighbor, it all fits within this very specific, pre-selected social ecosystem.
Right. Okay, so privacy sorted. What about the proximity to power? These aren't just isolated fortresses, are they?
No, not at all. That's the key balance. There are sanctuaries, yes, but they're strategically located near the big engines of wealth creation. Atherton is right there for Silicon Valley tech money. Sagaponack and Watermill in the Hamptons, that's New York City finance spilling over.
And Montecito, California, 93108, that serves the Hollywood and entertainment world, right? The celebrity enclave.
Precisely. But Montecito is interesting because its main privacy tool isn't really zoning like Atherton or pure geography like Fisher Island.
Yeah, the sources called it a cultural norm of discretion, which sounds a bit less concrete.
It sounds less concrete, maybe, but it seems to work there. It's this sort of unspoken agreement among the very high-profile people who live there to, well, leave each other alone.
But how reliable is that? Just based on, an understanding when you've got paparazzi and global media attention?
Well, look, it seems to function because everyone there shares the same fundamental need for a degree of invisibility, right? It allows them to have something resembling a normal life, or at least their version of normal, social boundaries, rather than just physical ones creating the sanctuary.
Okay, so if we pull back and look at the big picture, what this really highlights is a split, isn't it? A massive divide in the U.S. housing market.
A complete split. It's like 2 totally different systems operating in parallel. You got the mainstream market, and then you have this ultra-premium sector. It's almost a separate asset class entirely.
Right, because the hottest markets we hear about elsewhere, like Gahanna, Ohio was mentioned, they sell based on affordability, speed of sale, velocity.
Exactly. Those markets are all about how fast a home sells, how accessible it is. These top 5 zip codes, they sell the complete opposite. They sell friction. They sell exclusivity, deliberate inaccessibility.
So the price tag itself, it's not just reflecting value, it's actively creating the value by being a barrier.
That's a huge part of it. The price isn't a bug. It's a feature. It's designed to keep almost everyone else out. The scarcity and the inaccessibility are the product, in a way.
So the ultimate value driver is selling scarcity at the highest possible price.
Which leads to a really interesting question, I think, for you listening. If that massive price tag, that 5, 6, almost $8 million, is specifically designed to screen out 99.9% of people, when you're paying that much, what value do you actually place on just being invisible? What's the price of being left alone?
Something to think about. That was the deep dive.